Good afternoon, members, followers. Hope everyone is doing well. It's a Monday morning. It is the 21st of October, beginning of a trading week, and I wanted to actually just run through a few of our favorite markets for the week ahead. Now, it's been a little while since we've done a full sort of weekly breakdown, mainly because Dubai is coming to the end of the kind of summer season. And those that have been to Dubai will be aware that the weather is just about to turn very, very nice. And we have kind of myself and my business partner Yasser do have a lot of family visiting. We had obviously some nice summer holidays. Been very, very busy, but now we're sort of back on it and ready to actually smash these weeks now in terms of trading. So what I did want to do was just run through the sort of favored markets that we're both kind of looking at right now. Obviously, it is a Monday, so Mondays tend to be a quiet day, and therefore gives us a good opportunity to kind of drill down into these markets and see what we're looking at, see what's going on, and what the potentials could be for the week ahead. So first thing, obviously, to be aware of is we're coming towards the end of the month, and therefore we are coming towards Brexit. Okay, so we need to be very, very careful in terms of GBP pairs, in terms of Euro pairs, in terms of even FTSE, DAX. Just because obviously this news and these negotiations are happening right now within Parliament are going to have a massive effect on this GBP. And what we did notice over the last couple of weeks is the actual news itself coming out of GBP is hardly moving the market right now, which is quite obvious, quite standard when we have such a big important political event happening. So starting off, I'm just going to kick off with what I've got here on the screen right now, which is Euro JPY. Okay, so one of my kind of favored markets for the week. Now, as most of you guys that follow us know, we do kind of keep an eye on currency indexes as well as actually the currency pairs themselves. So first of all, if I just jump into the currency indexes, looking at Euro and looking at JPY, okay, Euro has had an extremely bullish run, and this has been helped by the Brexit talks. Okay, very, very bullish run, and at the moment it seems like there's no stopping that Euro. JPY currently has also been having quite the bearish run up until towards the end of the last week when we had a little bit of a relief there. Now, the things to take note of really are that JPY is at quite a crucial support zone right now. And therefore we could actually see and anticipate a potential change in direction, and potentially that Japanese yen strengthening, especially with the US dollar that's been weakening currently as well. When it comes to Euro, what we're looking at right now is obviously, as I said, an extremely bullish run, but we are coming up to a strong level of resistance on this market as well. And if technicals have any say in what's going on with regards to these markets, obviously Brexit negotiations aside, then we could actually see a potential pullback, a potential bit of a relief on the Euro strength that's come in recently as well. So if we jump into Euro JPY, okay, and I'm going to make these charts as big as possible and let you know exactly why we believe what we believe could happen on this market. And if we start off by just looking at the weekly charts, okay, so if we zoom into the weekly charts, we don't need to go too far back. We don't need to go back to sort of 2016, anything like that at all. All we really care about is what's kind of going on over the past sort of 6 months or so. And as you can see, we are in quite the bearish trend, that we have been in this bearish trend since kind of the beginning of 2018, okay? Consistently making lower highs and lower lows, and therefore at the moment we are still within that bearish trend, okay? As I said, we have had some Euro strength and Japanese weakness recently, which has given us that big push. But the area and the zone that we're kind of sitting in right now is quite crucial in terms of we're sitting at a previous support level. Okay, we're sitting at, and I'll show you on the other charts, quite a strong liquidity region, and therefore a potential supply zone. We're sitting at Fibonacci regions as well. So if I just highlight this move from this leg here, as you can see, we are sitting right now slap bang in the middle of the 78.6 and 61.8 levels. Okay. So this area of sort of 121 is very, very interesting to us. And if I now just drill down into a lower time frame, such as a daily, as you can see here, first of all, let me just highlight the liquidity zone, and obviously we've got this kind of previous support around this level as well. As you can see, it's pretty much bang on around this 121 level. Okay, so around this point here, which is right where we're sitting right now. Okay, and last time we kind of entered into this region, we had a big bearish move. Okay, a massive bearish move of about 600 pips or so in the space of 2 or 3 weeks. Now, we touched into that 2 days ago, okay, so on Thursday last week, and as soon as we tapped into that high of that zone, we rejected very, very strongly, okay, we rejected about 70 or 80 pips or so. So that's already an indication that there could potentially still be sellers at this region. So looking at this and looking at where we are right now, we are interested in potential shorts from this region. Okay, this isn't accurate, this drawing that I've got on here. It's just to remind me that this is what I'm looking for. But obviously, as I mentioned, yeah, this area is very, very interesting to us to be looking at shorts. Okay, so now if I just drill down onto the 4 hour, okay, what we obviously never want to do is sell against that buying pressure. And at the moment, we obviously have some very, very strong buying pressure in there. What I am seeing though is around those levels, obviously we're starting to sort of find those sellers within this market. So what we're hoping to see is actually this market roll over, potentially push down into the 120s. And if we do get that JPY strength and that euro weakness that could potentially occur, then we could have a big, big move downwards towards potentially that 117.5. Okay, so looking at even just where we are now, okay, I wouldn't enter this here, but we're looking at about an 8, 9, 10 risk reward. Okay, so this is a kind of thing we're expecting on this market. It's not going to happen in a couple of days. It's going to take certainly at least a week or so, but it's definitely of interest to us right now. Again, we jump into that lower time frame, looking on the hourly time frame now, and again, you can just see it in a bit more detail. This rejection here, okay, this rejection here of about 70 pips or so, and then we are coming into that zone again, and we already have a rejection. So we want to see the sellers really come into this market, because as you can see at the moment, all we've got really is buyers. Okay, buyers, buyers, buyers. All the way up, we've got buyers. We just want to start to see some sellers come into this market. And when those sellers do come into this market, we'll be looking for a little bit of a retracement. And then we'll be looking at a potential short position. Okay, so that's our views on Euro JPY. Next one we've got is USD JPY. So I'm quite interested in this, where this is at the moment. Again, let me just jump onto my weekly time frame first of all. So we're again at quite a strong supply zone right now. Okay, we're at also another area of interest around this kind of 109 level. Okay, and because of that, this is again a potential indication that from here we could have sellers enter this market and actually a bit of a change of bias. If we look at lower highs and higher lows and etc., you can see that our last high was here, okay, and our last low was here, which means right now, providing we stay below that 109.335, okay, we are still in a bearish move, okay, and therefore opportunities to short this market from here would be extremely interesting. Okay, so that's looking on the weekly time frame. Again, we look on the daily time frame, and yeah, just seeing a bit more detail. We've got that highlighted area of these wicks here, this liquidity zone. Last time we came into it, we had a big push down. The only thing that's slightly worrying on this market is if we do actually have a strengthening US dollar from this point, we have a very obvious head and shoulders pattern. Okay, and I'll just draw that in there for you as well. So we do have an inverse head and shoulders pattern here. Okay, so therefore we do need to obviously remain below that 109.33, I think it is, just to ensure that this setup remains valid. If we do remain below those levels, then absolutely we can look at finding opportunities to actually pull that trigger and short that market. Okay, so that's where we are on there. So we've got that head and shoulders on that side. But as I say, I'm looking for this market to actually make a nice solid movement down to around 106.5, potentially even further to around 105. Again, it's not going to happen in a few days, but this is the kind of movement we can expect potentially to happen in this market. We jump into the smaller time frame. The reason why I'm reluctant to pull the trigger right now, but very, very interested, is obviously we've started rejecting that zone. We've kind of come below a specific level, which I find quite important, 108.5, and now we've got to come back up and retest it. So I want to see obviously this market fall from here, but I would like to potentially buy it a little bit higher, and that the kind of levels I'm going to be looking for are going to be between 108 to 109. Okay, so that's what we're going to be focusing on when it comes to USD JPY, and we're going to be looking at potential short opportunities for that. The reason I've highlighted it exactly where it is because we've got this kind of Fibonacci level. Now, I don't normally like to draw Fibonacci's on smaller time frames, but as you can see, we have rejected that 78.6 right now, and potentially we could actually just have that fall from this level. So one to watch out for USD JPY, looking at short opportunities. What I will do is I will only pull the trigger here if I see a certain thing happen on our 15-minute time frame. Okay, if that thing does happen, then I will potentially look at pulling the trigger a little bit earlier than expected. We then have Euro Aussie Dollar. So Euro Aussie Dollar is a trade that we've been in personally in the Signal Group since around, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday last week. Okay, and we've had a nice entry here. Currently sitting around 2 units in profit, so around 75, 80 pips right now. Okay, and the reason why we were looking at this market was so we've got obviously the weekly chart here. Okay, so we've got the weekly chart, we've had a push higher, we've then had a push lower, and now we've rejected the Fibonacci from the upside. Okay, so we're looking at potentially rolling over. We have a lot of things to support this decision, such as the wicks that we've got here, the rejections around this level. Market doesn't really like to go above this kind of 1.6350 level, okay, right now. And it's providing a strong resistance, and therefore we've got a nice position in the short. So we do expect that to roll over to the downside. Looking on the daily looks very nice. We've had a stop hunt occur already. Okay, we've had a stop hunt occur already. We've had the highs in around this region here. We had one stop hunt, one candle on one day, pushed all the way up, rejected down, and then we had a big bearish engulfing candle. We've now, as of today, kind of crossed that trend line that we've got there as well. And now our next kind of point of support here is 1.622. Okay, and that's what we need to break and stay below to be able to start heading towards our target, which initially would be around 6 or 7 units, around 260 pips. But potentially it does certainly have the potential to go 300, potentially even 350. Okay. So that is where we are on Euro Aussie Dollar. Okay, that's where we are on Euro Aussie Dollar. And as you can see, that last 4-hour candle did actually break this trend line. So we could have a little retest of this region, but I'm hoping that we do decide to start falling down. And after that, if we do break that level, we can start heading towards that 1.61 level. Okay. So that's Euro Aussie. We then have FTSE. Okay, so FTSE at the moment, I'm very, very interested in short opportunities. Okay, weekly time frame is completely bearish for me. We're riding the EMAs to the downside. Okay, we look on the daily. Okay, looking on the daily candles, we can see the amount of spikes and wicks we've got actually coming into our EMAs here. And again, we've had another one today. We actually missed this entry today. But I do expect this market to roll over to the downside. Again, we need to break this level here, this sort of 7135, 7140 level. But once that level is broken, we can certainly head down to that 7,000 region. Okay, so that's our expectation on UK 100, the FTSE. We then have oil. Okay, so we've actually just placed a position on oil in our Signal Service group. Okay, we're looking at a short opportunity on oil, expecting around 187 pips or so. And as you can see, bearish momentum has really come in. We do have some support now. We do have some support around 51.5 to 52 roughly. But what I do want to see first is at least another attempt at this before, if we do decide to change direction and climb higher, we would have really retested this level for the third time. Okay, so I do hope and expect a movement down to this kind of 51.5 level. And yeah, we placed our position on that one today. And then finally, we do have a position on gold as well. I do expect downward momentum to happen on gold. Okay, we've got a very tight stop on this. So whether or not this one holds out, we'll have to wait and see. But as you can see, again, looking on the weekly, we have been extremely bullish, but now we're showing signs of a little bit of exhaustion. Okay, where we've come on the daily, we've also showing signs of rejecting going higher right now. So where we are currently is a very nice position to be looking at potential short opportunities all the way down to kind of 1460, 1450, and inevitably, hopefully, my target 1440 would actually be hit as well. Now, looking on the 4 hour, as you can see, we have been making sort of consecutive lower highs and lower lows up until that last low that we've got there at 1477. Okay, so we do need to kind of keep below 1496, 1497 to ensure that this kind of downtrend stays intact. If it does, we could see kind of dropping off a cliff happen here and actually then start heading down into those 1460s and below. So guys, yeah, that's my that's our analysis on sort of the markets that we're actually really focusing on for the first part of this week. Hope you find it useful.